with the Intel Pentium Processor Extreme Edition.
Can't get your hands on a 360? Don't even sweat it. We're going to give our picks for games that will keep you happy until the next shipment rolls out.
Plus, I'm sitting down with the lead designer behind the new military action game Full Spectrum Warrior 10 Hammers.
And in my never-ending pursuit to explore gaming around the globe, I'll show you what happened when I went to America's Video Game Expo. Because G4 TV, the show that will respect you in the morning, starts now.
Oh, you're full of it.
It's always the
It's just a lie.
You act like we're cuddlers.
Who actually does that? Certainly not Jeff. Hey, everybody, welcome. Thanks for joining us to this little thing we like to do every week called G4 TV, and it's been a week. So, Tina and Jeff, how's your week been?
What a great week, you know.
Good,
it's the
getting
holidays.
ready for the holidays. That's right, game releases are slowing down a bit.
Smells like Christmas. I love it. Can't wait to go back east where it's cold.
Where it's cold and you'll be freezing and you can't have any fun. All right, well, you know, there's been so much talk, you guys, about the 360 that we can't forget a lot of the other top news stories that are out there. Sure. The big one is the leak of the possible specs for Nintendo's Revolution. On the phone, we have Matt Casamassina. He's editor-in-chief of IGN Revolution, and he broke the story of the specs. How you doing, Matt?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good. All right, Matt, tell us in our audience, what is the story?
All right, yeah, the story is basically that round 2 of Revolution development kits went out to developers. And now they're starting to get an idea of what the console can do, and they're talking to us. And basically, we got some specs, early specs. This is based on still unfinished hardware, but it's still a pretty good idea of what we can expect. And what we're looking at is a console that's roughly 2 to 3 times a GameCube.
As powerful.
Right, in terms of power, yes.
So how is that going to compare to PS3 and 360? Obviously, it's not going to be high definition. I mean, a lot of people are saying that this isn't going to be anywhere close to those other systems in terms of power. Is that, and Nintendo sort of seems to be confirming that a little bit too, right?
Yeah, I think that's accurate, and it's really not Nintendo's focus. You know, if you look back from the beginning, everyone at Nintendo has always been saying it's all about making a quiet, affordable console, and not really so much about competing on the same level with PS3 and 360. That said, you're still going to have a console that, without HD, is going to be able to deliver some pretty impressive graphics.
Right on. Well, Nintendo's actually put out a couple statements. Let's take a look at their official word, and then I'll give you a chance to respond to that. Our competitors would have you believe that the next generation will be solely defined by high-definition graphics. High-definition graphics look fantastic, but come at a price. And then the next thing they had to say was Nintendo has created a gaming system that is sleek and compact inside, powers up quickly with minimal load times, makes game development easy and fast, and is easy to use, and is affordable for everyone. Are they correct? What would you say in response to that, Matt?
Well, you know, I think it's a little bit of a spin there. Yeah, of course it's going to be more expensive to develop when you're making really big-budgeted, high-definition games. But, you know, people that are working on GameCube nowadays are still going to be making multi-million-dollar projects, and I think Nintendo is sort of downplaying that.
And Matt, you're getting this information from developers. Are developers supposed to be talking to you about this stuff?
No, developers they're under NDA. In fact, in talking with some of these guys over the phone, I could hear them saying, you know, okay, Matt, hold on, let me just look past this NDA and I'll give you the info.
Okay.
And then you're giving it to us.
That's the way
On
Matt
national
rolls.
television.
Yeah,
Millions of viewers.
Now, Matt, one last question for you. You know, a lot of people have been speculating what the Revolution is going to cost because it's not as, you know, technically advanced as the other systems. Do you think, is Nintendo going to bring this out for like $149 or $99 at launch?
I think it's possible. I would say if they try to go 200, they would be completely ripping people off, and they know that now.
Wow.
I'm thinking 149 realistically. They could probably do 99, but I think they'll probably go 149.
If you could get it for me for $59, that'd be awesome.
I'd pick it up for
Eventually,
$149
yeah.
price point. I'd pick it up.
Economical. Now, it's going to be really interesting to see
Yeah.
sort of how this plays out because, you know, it's going to be at E3 and it's not going to be as, you know, high def or,
No,
you know, as
it's-
advanced
you
as
know,
PS3.
It
But
all comes back to that controller, and I think once people get that thing in their hands, it's going to be very telling.
Hey, thanks for getting the
Believers.
scoop, Matt. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Matt. Happy
Thank you
holidays.
so much.
Bye-bye.
All right,
take
now,
care.
we also want to take some time to chat about some of the other games that have been overshadowed due to the release
that 360 is
of the
just
360. Yes, believe it or not, actual other games have come out.
and since you can't buy a 360, they're not out there to
That's right.
buy.
You
It's
don't
like-
have one?
God, it's so hard to get. Yeah, well, let's take a look at actually Mario Kart on the DS because I'm
good
a
times.
huge Mario Kart fan, and it's all about the Wi-Fi with this. DS owners are getting a chance to be across the country and get a chance to play against each other and that type of stuff. And who doesn't love Luigi and Donkey Kong and Mario and Yoshi?
It's just fun. The one thing that I don't like about it is just like, you know, the DS was all about the touch screen, the two screens, and you don't really
you don't
use
use that.
either thing
You don't
for
use
this
that.
game.
Oh, yeah, but you don't have to use, you know, like you have a girlfriend. You don't use it for everything every time you see her, right?
Right.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead. Let's go to Fire Emblem. Path of Radiance, or actually, I'm sorry, let's take a look at Battlefield 2 on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Laura, you're a big fan of this.
I am a big fan of this. I, for some reason, like squad-based games. I like to control a lot of people. You would never guess.
I would know that.
The cool thing about this game is you have this hot swap button where you can control every member of your platoon, and when you kill them off one by one, because sometimes you're not that good at games, you don't die until all your squad members are dead.
The hot swapping feature is kind of cool. I like switching around.
Well, and let's not forget about those GameCube.
The first one was a hit. You can't pick the second.
The GameCube owners. We've got Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. This series you guys started way back in the 1990s on the Famicom. You remember that, Jeff? You're a little bit older than we are.
Yeah.
You know, the battles are turn-based. It features a pretty in-depth, complex story about war.
Yeah.
And it's got the strategy and the RPG
You recommending
elements.
this to them, team?
I am. If you're a GameCube owner, there's not a whole lot for you to choose from. So I do think you should pick up maybe a Fire Emblem.
Go out
We're
and
picking up a new system.
Go out and get Killer 7 if you have a GameCube.
All right, well, I had 3 overlooked games I want people to take a look at. The first one, Half-Life 2 on the Xbox. Now, this is an Xbox One game, and I actually think it's better than a lot of the 360 launch titles. This was a fantastic PC game. The port to the Xbox is pretty good. You know, they didn't cut any corners, really. The frame rate's a little low, but if you don't have a $2,000 PC, this is really good.
But I was going to say, do you think it got overshadowed because Halo is such the shooter on the Xbox? Like, Halo fans don't play a lot of Half-Life?
I think it got overshadowed because it's like, you know, it came out literally like the week before the 360 came out. So it's just like people are talking about 360 games, but it runs backwards compatibility on the
Only a Halo fangirl would have been asked that
I was
question.
just curious.
I know. Well, we'll gotta wait for Halo 3. Now, my second title is another one that's a port, but this is Resident Evil 4 on the PS2.
Yeah.
Now, the GameCube one came out earlier this year. This game is, you know, one of the best games of the year by far.
Game of the year, as far as the Spike Wars were concerned.
That's right. That's what they said. So I'd have to agree. I mean, it's a fantastic game, and the PS2 port is really good. And it's it's the same game as the GameCube. The GameCube version looks a little bit better, but you know, this is one of the best games of the year just because it came out in January, February on GameCube. It's out on PS2 now. I definitely check it out. The final game is Age of Empires 3.
Now, there's a reason why this was overshadowed, Keely.
Well, but this is a great strategy game. The thing is, like, all PC games this year feel like the redheaded stepchild of the industry, like Fear and this game are both great PC games. No one plays them. This is a great real-time strategy game set, you know, between 1500 and 1850, and you play European powers sort of trying to colonize the U.S., but it's beautiful.
No,
I mean, the
it is a
graphics and
beautiful
everything.
game. It's just a real-time
It's
strategy.
not as good as Fire Emblem.
It's better than turn-based, right?
All right,
I'll
you guys.
put my Age of Empires against your Fire Emblem.
Well, these two
anytime.
duke it out. Still, you know, if you can't get your hand on 360, like we're saying, there are some really good stuff out there. My first pick, if you're looking for some fun, want to kill some time, throw Shadow of the Colossus right there into your PS2.
Hard.
It's really hard, but look at it. The graphics
Beautiful.
are stunning.
Yeah.
The gameplay is unique. It's fun. You have to go around and kill these 16 colossi. Each one sort of acts as its own boss level, you know, and it's a puzzle. You have to figure it out. And like we were saying earlier, this thing will keep you busy all Christmas break.
And it's sold okay, right?
It is still okay, but I think, you know, that a lot of people...
Should have sold better.
It should have sold better. So if you don't have a 360, go out and help sell better. Here you go. It's winter. It's cold. You can't get your 360. You feeling sad? Hit the beach. Hit the beach with Far Cry Instincts on your Xbox. It's basically a port from the PC game to the Xbox, but now, of course, it's on console, and we all know first-person shooters should be on a console. But it's great, and they've added some new levels, you know, a few additions. There's new gameplay scenarios, and it's Far Cry.
It's Far Cry. It's a beautiful game. Why not, right?
And last up, my suggestion, you know, you guys, I'm a big, huge, tremendous fan of Star Wars. So go ahead and throw Star Wars Battlefront 2 in. Basically, you take the first one, which is a blockbuster hit, and now you've got new space combat. You can play as the Jedi, Jeff. You can play as Yoda.
Yoda, even the Emperor.
This is
Pretty
good
cool.
stuff.
We missed a lot because of the 360. Like, I don't remember
did.
any of these coming out.
And where this one really, really is a champion is in multiplayer. Star Wars Battlefront 2
Boy.
multiplayer.
That 360 really overshadowed everything.
Well,
out
and the
there.
tough thing is that there are a lot of good games. There's not that one blockbuster game. That's
Yeah.
why, you know, people are saying sales in November for the video game industry are way down because there
Right.
wasn't a GTA or a Halo this year. And all those games are good, but there's not that one game that everyone has to own.
Yeah, and you know, and it's not coming. It's 2 weeks till
It's
Christmas.
December. It's over for
And
this
you ain't
year.
gonna get
Let's look forward to 06, right?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
we're going to do that, actually.
Guitar Hero.
Because stick around, because
True.
after this, we're
Guitar
talking
Hero
about a big game for
360.
2006. We're supporting our troops by taking a look at the brand new Full Spectrum Warrior sequel. It's next right here on G4TV.com.
I said, go pick up Guitar Hero when they came out months ago.
Friends for the whole
You could have put it on your overlook list. You didn't, though.
I didn't. I could have. Darn it.
Let's count sand. It's not.
Bean Farmer Extreme.
Let's wait in line. Awesome. This is all you guys have? Where are all the good games? You guys have nothing. Zip. Nada.
We have not a 3. With Gamefly.com, you can stay at home and rent games from the largest selection on the planet, and we'll send them to you. Go to Gamefly.com now for your free trial. Rated T through M.
like the boys are back for another visit.
That's the third time this week.
Welcome to Animal Crossing Wild World, the game that keeps on playing whether you're there or not. And now, you can visit your friends online with a Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, rated E for everyone.
Better hide the catnip.
We're a pretty tight group here. It doesn't happen overnight. People have to learn that they can count on you. You know what I mean?
All the pass!
Yes, sir, I do.
See how Army training gives you strength for now, strength for later at GoArmy.com.
Oh, hurry up, man. Boss is coming in.
Dude, almost got it.
Hey, how are the graphics coming on that game? I've got another one I need designed.
We just finished level 3 and need to tighten up the graphics a little bit.
Great.
Hey, I can't believe we got jobs doing this.
I know. And my mom said I would never get anywhere with these games.
Train online for a degree in game art and design. Call 800-914-8582. Call now.
Push it! Push it now!
G4's Training Camp, hosted by Eddie George, where gamers and athletes collide. Coming up next, only on G4.
Next spring, Pandemic Studios and THQ are set to release the sequel to the critically acclaimed military action game Full Spectrum Warrior, which was originally developed as a training simulator for the Army. Well, joining us today to tell us about the sequel is Rich Wyckoff, the lead designer for the game from Pandemic Studios, which recently got bought by Elevation Partners, which is owned by Bono. So I got to ask you the first question. Has Bono seen this game?
Bono came by the office before we even knew this was happening. He looked at all the games. When he was looking at our game, he actually took a note of our Kashmir region, which is what we based it on, and said, you know, you guys should do a sort of ethnic music. Sure enough, we did.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
But not composed by
Not
you two?
composed by, not this time.
Next time, exactly. Well, that's very
Hopefully.
cool. So let's talk about the Full Spectrum Warrior, brand, because this was a game that originally started as an Army training simulator. It was a big hit at E3 a couple of years ago when you guys said we're going to take the simulator, we're going to make it into a game. But this game, you know, you're kind of shedding the Army. This was built as a game first, right?
Right. What we wanted to do with 10 Hammers was really perfect the Full Spectrum Warrior formula that we started with the first one. So we really just set about to add in the features that people had asked for after it, make more polished levels, better art, better everything.
Interesting. So, I mean, why did you decide to sort of shed that Army? Do you feel it was kind of hard, it was holding you back a bit?
It wasn't holding us back as such, and in fact, we hired a designer on the team who, besides building levels, had served in the Army as a platoon leader for a mechanized training platoon. So we still wanted to be as authentic as possible. He had lots of great perspectives on what it's like to be a soldier. But we wanted to make a game this time. We really wanted to make a game. We didn't want to make a simulator.
Well, it's very cool. So obviously for the sequel, you're adding a lot of new things. One of the coolest things is you got vehicles in it, right?
Yes. Tanks especially play a big role in 10 Hammers. You get to control a Bradley, and at one point you can take on an enemy BMP, which is a roughly equivalent armored personnel carrier.
Wow, so do you put the whole squad into the tank, or how does that work?
Oh, we don't actually let you load the squad. All of our levels are in such a small physical scale that these personnel carriers act as support as they would in a real conflict. So they've got machine guns, cannons, smoke that they can even deploy to help you out.
So I mean, you basically have to use the vehicles now to sort of get through certain, points in the
yes,
level?
In the midpoint of the game, you have to get a Bradley across a key bridge in the city where we've set it, and you can't win without doing that.
Interesting, very cool. Now you kind of changed, the way the squad set up, because I know in the first game it was sort of, Team Alpha, Team Bravo, you were switching back and forth. Now you can actually have, Charlie, Delta, you can split teams off and stuff like that?
Yeah, we have up to 4 squads that you can control at once. Often the 3rd and 4th squads, Charlie and Delta, are specialized assets like a commander or the Bradley. And you can take Alpha and Bravo, your standard 8-man squads, break them up into the two-man buddy teams that make up each of those fire teams.
So how do you kind of prevent, too much micromanagement with, all these teams all over trying to have to swap back and forth between them?
Well, in addition to splitting them off, we've given a whole bunch of new controls so that you can very easily tell any other team what to do from the one you're with. So you can really just tell the whole team to come back to where you are, get in cover nearby you without ever jumping around between them all.
Interesting. Okay. Now, one of my complaints about the first game was that I loved the strategy angle, but there were moments where you just wanted to sort of look through the eyes of one of the soldiers and pop off a guy behind a car or something like that, and you couldn't do it. This game, I know you're adding sort of precision controls. So you can actually, sometimes actually take over one of the soldiers.
Yeah, that was a thing that we heard and even felt ourselves a lot. So we added in what we call precision fire mode. And every one of your soldiers on your team has a different type of precision fire. Your rifleman and your team leader can snipe, basically. So if you can't find a way to flank a guy, which was the thing you had to do all the time in the first game, if you take your time and are careful about it, you can pick him off as he comes up to shoot at you. And you can also use rocket launchers and your grenade launcher, and even order suppression fire directly from the assault rifleman.
Wow, that's very cool. Now, I got to ask you sort of, this game's coming out, but obviously Full Spectrum, you guys are going to keep developing. What excites you about sort of doing this on the next generation system? Where do you think kind of this style of game goes?
We feel Full Spectrum Warrior is very unique, and I think with the additional power in these systems, we could take this idea and just go way bigger with it. We'd love to do something that's, I think, not as traditional. We're already non-traditional in our gameplay. Why be traditional with a linear series of levels? Nothing decided yet, nothing I could talk about.
Right, but do more open world or something like that?
Yeah, that would be a great direction to take the series.
Or command hundreds of troops or something like that. Do you think that model, though, could you eventually have, be the Army commander and, literally have thousands of troops under your command?
We could possibly. There's a lot of directions that we might want to take this franchise. We might even branch it off into a high level and a low level, although I think the thing that we have decided is the real key aspect of Full Spectrum Warrior are the individual soldiers. So whatever we do, we'd want you to know the guys in your squad, for them to have personalities, talk to you, tell you what they think.
Right. Well, that's one of my favorite parts when you go online. You can actually have friends, playing the other teams and stuff like that. Online, obviously, another big. You got co-op in there again, I'm sure.
We added co-op, but most importantly, I think our big feature is versus multiplayer. Right. We have 8 objectives.
The first one just had the co-op, right? People were sort of disappointed about that.
Yeah, and we would have loved to do that, but time just didn't permit. So that was the thing we started out from. All of our design decisions were to make the versus multiplayer work at all in this game. And I think it's really fun right now. We've got these 8 levels, and they're all objective-based. That was another thing. We kind of had to come up with our own approach to versus multiplayer, just like we have our own approach to single. And it's well, I'll have to wait for people to tell me what they think it plays like, but it doesn't feel like a shooter to me, but it doesn't feel like anything else. It's kind of addictive.
Well, that's interesting because, it's not sort of, going for the kill, instantly. It's more strategy, I guess, to it, right?
But yet still somewhat more action-based. It's great. You can have the tanks in multiplayer, too. It's really fun to be the tank commander, drive around, shoot the other guy's BMP.
Run over the other guys?
You can run over the other people.
If you can get, the treads right over the guy. You sold me right there. I can't wait to check it out. Thanks, Rich. It's Full Spectrum Warriors 10 Hammers, which is coming out in March. Now, after the break, stick around because Laura has a date with Pac-Man. She's headed to America's Video Game Expo in Philly. Watch her adventures coming up next.
Prepare for the sequel to the best-selling Star Wars game of all time. Fight as a Jedi. Fight in space. Fight the battles any way you want. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Get your copy today and fight again. Rated Teen.
Welcome to this week's Game Before the Game, presented by Snickers, where we simulate this week's Monday night matchup. The Green Bay Packers at the Baltimore Ravens. First quarter, Jamal Lewis doing what he does best, which is running over people. Look at the burst. 68-yard TD, 7-0 Ravens. Brett Favre looking for Donald Driver. 27-yard strike, game tie. Favre sniffing the end zone again. Picked by Dale Carter, who takes it 91 yards. Favre drops back, drilled by Terrell Suggs, but completes the toss to, Chris McAllister, who takes it to the house. Favre, feeling it, throws this laser to Samari Roll. Hey, Brett, your team is wearing the white jerseys. Favre, battling back, throws a perfect strike to Tommy Polly. Can you believe this? Ravens win big 38-14. Baltimore D returns 4 picks for points and collectively takes home this week's award as Snickers' hungriest player. See you next week on The Game Before the Game.
These guys are doing homework.
Oh yeah, homework.
They're studying game design. It's one of today's hot industries. And you could be part of it in less time than you think. Call Brown College now. Find out how you can get started on a career where you can do what you love.
Call now for a free brochure. Operators are standing by. Call 800-719-7268. 800-719-7268. Call now.
Over the next 2 weeks, tune into Attack of the Best of Shows. We wrangle together our finest and worstest moments and put them together in neat little themed categories. The Best of Attack of the Show, December 19th through December 30th.
Finding the right movie to rent hasn't always been easy. With Netflix, you can get the details on all 50,000 titles. From classics to new releases, and even search for children's movies based on age. That way, there's a movie waiting for you at home. Hello?
A princess movie! It's perfect!
There's a movie waiting for you at home. Netflix. All the DVDs you want, starting at only $9.99 a month, no late fees.
Multi-State Insurance Company.
Hello, I'd like a car insurance quote, please. Yeah, hi. Hello? Yeah, I'd like a quote, please. Can I have a car insurance quote? Need a quote. Yeah, I'm looking for a car insurance quote, please. Quote, please. Just need a quote.
Hey, think easier. Think Progressive. We give you our direct rate for car insurance plus the rates of other top companies instantly. Go to Progressive.com.
Hey guys, how you doing? I pre-booked my 360 months in advance, got it. Started playing it, a couple of issues that I had. They seem to have taken the online community and seem to have trashed it. Like for example, in Gotham Racing 3, you can't seem to race in a ranked room with your friends. You can no longer join your friends in a room. When you're in racing with people, you can't see any of the voices on the screen, the names, so you have no idea who's talking to you. But I'm very frustrated by this 360 system, very frustrated.
Wow, aren't we just aggravated?
At least he got one.
Everybody feels different ways about the new Xbox Live. They kind of went in, they revamped a lot, and some people really love it. I'm actually a big fan of it. There's sort of more to do, more for me to choose from, but it's a little bit different. It's like when Halo 2 came out and all of a sudden Master Chief could fall a bazillion miles and not die. People don't like change, and there are some changes, and I get what he's saying about the mic, because before you could always tell.
The great thing about Live, though, is that it's online, so they can, they can adapt and change and stuff like that. So I think but people are frustrated because, especially when you're paying $50 a year for the service, you feel like you want it to be, the way it is. So we'll see. But I think, they're making changes, but I think they're also, like Xbox Live Marketplace, a lot of people, I like that a lot, the stuff you can buy online and stuff. So we'll see where it evolves. But if they get a lot of negative feedback, I'm sure they'll start to change it. So.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do is sort of to speak up and go to the, some of the Xbox team, some of the forums and stuff, and voice that, because Microsoft does do a really good job.
They're being reactionary to the responses.
They're good listeners, unlike my co-hosts.
Microsoft. Anyway, you guys, as you're familiar with Microsoft, I'm sure you're all familiar with E3, right? Well, that's not the only video game convention around. Sometimes the big guy overshadows the little guy. You guys see the theme in the show?
Yeah, go ahead, Laura.
All right, I, myself, lover of the little guy, I went to Pennsylvania for America's Video Game Expo to show some underdog love. Check it out.
What are you talking about?
Okay, we've landed in Philly at America's Video Game Expo. There's going to be new games, old games, fun, contests, tournaments, tons of people, cosplayers. We're going to go inside. Check it out.
People call me Pitfall Harry. They think it's a great costume. It helps them
out in the real world or just here?
We have all sorts of stuff from everything from Atari to Xbox.
Okay.
And we sell all the classic stuff. Whatever I can find that relates to the stuff.
That relates to the stuff. Okay, now what do you do as a composer?
Composer, basically what we do is we design songs for the game, which have interesting step patterns. That's the main goal.
This is your first time?
Yes.
How's it working out for you?
Very nice. My shop teacher helped me make the shield and sword. I won't be the #1 loser. I do try to do a little bit of everything, basically.
Where are you from?
Hatboro.
Because I could have sworn you had a British accent at the beginning of this interview. I thought I was drunk for a second. I should get this for Tina. She needs it.
We are a company who has been a group of friends who are dissatisfied with Hollywood-made video game movies. We've got a movie in the works based on Parappa the Rapper for PlayStation.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know Parappa had a 2-hour-long plot line.
Can't punch, it's all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'll show you fine.
So it's been a full day here at America's Video Game Expo. Really, it's been all about bringing together the retro games with the current games and the community. And right now, it's time for me to play some games. Hey, get out of my way. Gamers are so rowdy. I thought it was supposed to be about the community.
So where
that's
exactly
where
did you
I
go,
was.
and what were they doing?
That's where I was. I went to what I thought was going to be Philadelphia, but apparently it was in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania.
Right.
Wow.
But with the name like America's Video Game Expo, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you guys are covering this.
Crazy thing to me is, I mean, there were fans still. There was still a guy dressed up as Link.
Oh, they love it. The people get it. They love their retro games. I sort of want to compare it to the Classic Games Convention down in Vegas.
Yeah.
With, you know, some trade show aspects and some cosplay. It was really, really, I mean, it was fun.
Well, you're always out there covering everything for us. So,
I know, I'm a woman of the people.
We'll come back after the break because we have a major and it's huge announcement that we want to share with you guys. That's right, Jeff's going to become a woman. No, I'm kidding. Actually, Laura's going to become a woman. You don't want to miss it. All right, you're just going to have to return to find out.
Go to Dell.com today, and you can bring your movies, music, and pictures together with this awesome Dell Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor with HT technology for only $549 after mail-in rebate when you shop online. And for a limited time online, you can get a free flat panel monitor from the world's #1 source for flat panels, a free Dell printer, and free shipping. It's more than one PC that does it all. It's a Dell.
I've been doing something bad. I've been pretending to be mentally challenged so I can fix the Special Olympics to make money off of it.
Something's missing. You should drool.
Bye, Uncle Gary.
Johnny Knoxville is the Ringer.
I would definitely bring protection.
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday.
Check this out. This is what we do for a living.
We're video game designers.
And we're game programmers.
With the training offered at Collins College, you can learn to design, code, and test games like this.
And this.
Game design is a growing career.
For a brochure on a career in game design, call Collins College at 1-888-256-1200 now. That's 1-888-256-1200. Call Collins College now.
Every weeknight at midnight, this parade of deplorable shows begins. Do not watch Barbed Wire Biscuit. Take Brainiac, basically a science fair run by perverted delinquents. Repulsive, and it only gets worse. Do not watch Barbed Wire Biscuit tonight at midnight on G4.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Now make sure you tune in next week because it is our holiday show. We're going to be getting drunk off eggnog and all those holiday hits.
What kind of hits?
And we're going to also be taking a look at the past year in games and gaming moments. And not only will it be our final episode of G4TV.com for the season, but I'm here to announce forever. So you definitely don't want to miss next week because we are going to do it right.
That's right.
We're going
Get
to go out
dressed
in
up.
style.
You're going to put on holiday costumes.
We're
going
to shove pies in your face, Jeff.
Yes.
Wow.
Tina's going to
Things are
strip.
Yeah.
All the things we've been meaning to do these past 4 years. Next week, it's happening.
They're all
Laura's going to be making out with
I'm gonna get
everybody.
drunk.
But we're still going to talk about some games. We're going to talk about our
Yes.
favorite games of the year, some of the worst
Yeah.
games of the year. We're going to go back through all the big news stories.
Well,
It's
it was
been
a
good year for
great,
gaming, right?
great year in gaming. You know, we got the first next-gen console that came out, so
Yeah.
definitely, and also, you know, we can't remember what kind of came out in January and February, so it'll be good to kind of
We're
take
talking
a
about,
look
like,
back.
Remember last month, Tina.
Come on, but Resident Evil, God of War,
Oh,
all
I know,
those
it's
great
all
games
right
back
here.
earlier in the year. So, no,
We're going to recap it for
It's
y'all.
been a good year for gaming, right?
Good year for
Absolutely.
gaming, good year for G4 TV, so tune in.
Yeah, the future looks bright.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps it up for this week's show. I want to thank our guest, Richard Wyckoff, and thanks to all of you at home for watching. Now, make sure to visit our website at www.g4tvtheshow.com. We can post on our message boards. And we also have our weekly podcast. Very cool thing we record right after the show. Tina, Laura, and I put it together, and you can listen to it. You can put it on your iPod, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. See you guys next week. Good night.
Goodbye.
Yes. One more week.
Welcome to Training Camp with Eddie George, the show that takes a gamer off the couch and drops them into the world of their favorite sport in exchange for all their gaming knowledge.
Those moves